tem diversas pedras com nomes de crianças ao redor do mundo inteiro que mandavam mensagem para Nelson Mandela quando Nelson Mandela ficou doente. No caso, ó, não tem cerca elétrica, nem essa e nem a outra, porque ele acreditava que isso não era necessário para garantir a segurança. E nessa área vermelha ficavam presos os prisioneiros comuns. E aqui a gente já tá entrando na área onde os prisioneiros comuns ficavam. E essa frase é muito forte. Sério, eu não sei nem se eu vou conseguir gravar aqui. E só haviam 8 chuveiros para mais de 2.000 prisioneiros. Fala pessoal, bom dia. Hoje é dia de Soweto Tour. Estamos chegando aqui em Nelson Mandela Foundation. Isso é um instituto do Nelson Mandela para contar toda a história. E estamos eu, mais outro rapaz, outro turista da Zâmbia, e já estamos começando aqui o tour para entender toda essa história do que foi o Apartheid. E o Pia é um cara muito divertido, está contando diversas histórias dele ao redor da África. Já estou curtindo o tour só pela troca com os garotos aqui, o que é muito importante, né? Faz a gente se sentir mais segura, mais à vontade, é mais divertido. Então vamos hoje juntos, que vai ser um dia muito divertido aqui em Soweto, e um dia de muita história. Um dia em que a gente precisa, às vezes, ter contato com essa história para valorizar quem nós somos e valorizar histórias que aconteceram ao redor do mundo.
So this is a very special place. I'm taking you because they're very special people. Usually most people do not know about this place.
Aqui é a principal casa que o Nelson Mandela comprou.
And when he was sick, when he was sick, very, very ill. So a lot of kids, because he was a very good family with the little kids. So they came to write messages on papers and whatever and posted them, and they actually encouraged them to write them on those pebble stones right there. All right. So if we can intuition well.
E aqui tem diversas pedras com nomes de crianças ao redor do mundo inteiro que mandavam mensagem para Nelson Mandela quando Nelson Mandela ficou doente.
Praying for him to say if
E o Nelson Mandela fez duas casas aqui nessa área. Aqui ainda é a área da casa dele. E aí ele tá explicando que, olha, é grande a casa e essa é a outra casa do Nelson Mandela. E a casa, ó, não tem cerca elétrica, nem essa e nem a outra, porque ele acreditava que isso não era necessário para garantir a segurança.
Mandela had 2 daughters with Winnie Mandela, Zinzi and Zenani. Zenani was there, but she's not in the public space. Of Johanesburg. Joburg was an open land.
Grassland.
Yes, grassland. No trees, just hilly place with hard rock.
Yeah.
You know? And when people started flocking into this area and returning back to their homelands, they came back with flowers to replant it and make it to look green.
Yeah.
So as the people of Johannesburg, we call Johannesburg a man-made forest.
Man.
Because 92% of the plants that you see here are not indigenous plants.
I could tell.
Sisitron Rhodes is a mining magnate.
I know him well.
You know?
I went to Rhodes University and I'm from Rhodesia.
Rhodesia.
So obviously I know this guy.
Yes. That's Sisitron Rhodes' house. He actually moved here in 1902. And then this one, the white one, Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of you see this one with this white one. Yeah, he used to live there with the military captain of the British troops who was known as Kitchener, you know? And then this was the family house of the Ernest Oppenheimer, the Oppenheimer family. You see this one, the whole entire house, yes. Are the ones that conquered Namibia,
Namibia, yeah.
you know. And then you look at Tanzania, it was British and Portuguese. You know, that is why you find places like
Esse rapaz aqui da minha
what's that
esquerda,
place that
ele é engenheiro de
yeah, Zanzibar.
Minas.
I went there.
E o
Actually.
rapaz da direita
Oh yeah, Zanzibar.
é o guia.
No. This is
E eles estão trocando
University.
muita informação sobre geografia,
This is West
sobre
University. So
política,
now,
sobre
we are
os
in an area
povos
called
que
Bromfontein.
originários de cada
Bromfontein.
país,
Bromfontein was a land which was
sobre
owned by Robert
os
Brum, and he
colonizadores.
used it to store the landmines that were using to blast the
Está
land to
sendo
get the gold.
plus
And
no
the
tour por
area
eles serem
exploded
tão
with those landmines
conhecedores, os
that
dois, né?
created a
E tá
big
tendo essa
hole,
troca
which
entre
they
eles,
saw
eu
it
tô
that it was
aprendendo
not usable
tanto.
for any agriculture sense, but they utilized
Que
it
seria
for
impossível
storage.
eu
For the
trazer
mining
todas
company.
essas informações que
And
eles
the
estão
refinery
trocando.
happened in Johanesburg, the city
Então
of
vou deixar
Johannesburg,
vocês
inside
escutando
the
um
city
pouquinho.
actually. Okay, yes. Of the if I would call it, because if you can see, there are lots of colleges, close to the university, and most of the relocated buildings that were taken illegally, they've been given to the youth to utilize them for business interest and also for accommodation. So you'll find a lot of accommodation and whatever. And then
Must have a good nightlife here.
Oh yes. You see now the schools are closed because some of them they return back to
E aí,
the
eles estão falando que a noite aqui é muito
And then this
boa.
is the Kossatu House. This is the headquarters of all the unions of South Africa.
Okay.
So the Union of Mines is situated in Johannesburg, but Kossatu, all the union, teachers unions, labor unions, this is their headquarters here. And they're very close. So councillors that represent local government, they come here for meetings, theater production, and then right here, all
Aqui é
this place is the
Johanesburgo
Department of Human
Teatro.
Rights Lawyers.
Teatro de Joanesburgo.
Human Rights Lawyers. This is where their offices are at. And they're very close to the Constitutional Hill. Constitutional Hill, this is where you find the Constitutional Court of South Africa. Okay, yeah.
E aí, aqui nós
So we're going to
estamos
take
próximos
a little bit of a
do
detour tour
Constitutional
of this
Hill,
entire...
que é o prédio da Constituição, onde você pode encontrar todas as informações sobre a Constituição de Johannesburg.
So this place used to be a place where they violated people's rights.
Oh, good.
Gandhi was actually arrested here. Mahatma Gandhi.
Really?
Nelson Mandela. Yes, Gandhi is the one who came with pacifism.
Oh.
Yes. When Gandhi left South Africa in 1918, that's when Mandela was born in 1918. So there is an exhibition of both of them to show how they resemble a lot of things when it came to struggle. Yeah,
E a gente tá aqui já no Constitutional Hill. E aqui, nessa área vermelha, ficavam presos os prisioneiros comuns. E aqui foi demolido uma área e construído essa parte da Constituição para que fosse relembrado esse momento da história. Então o guia estava explicando tudo isso que tem ao redor aqui.
So you can see with the building, it's like an old structure because this place was built in the late 1800s. The old prison block.
Okay.
Yeah.
E aqui a gente já tá entrando na área onde os prisioneiros comuns ficavam. E essa frase é muito forte. Que ninguém conhece de verdade uma nação até que esteja preso. As frases são muito impactantes. E aqui é um pouco de onde eram as prisões. E a explicação aqui.
They mixed the race in South Africa or the palace. So they were also called the section. So between 1909 to 1910, they saw a need to build the women's jail. The women's jail was meant to house both white, so the non-white female prisoners. However, they were kept or convicted, but it was later demolished to create a space for our constitutional court. And guess what? After we demolished our constitutional prison, we preserved some of the bricks to build a certain part of the court. This is to say, the very same bricks that we used to violate the human rights now are used to protect the right of the people who are building the court. We are also trying to say we are using our past just to build our future. Remember that the functional court, that's not a museum, that's the highest court when it comes to constitutional matters. It was built from 2001 and officially opened in 2000. Any questions so far?
E agora o guia vai mostrar como que era viver dentro de uma cela. Sério, eu não sei nem se eu vou conseguir gravar aqui. Senão. Uau. Nossa, gente. Você já imaginou? Tá preso sem ter crime num lugar escuro. Cara, muito foda isso.
Can we proceed?
Yeah.
Welcome to Life in a Cell. So this is one of the cells that used to house prisoners. This cell was built to house at least 30 people, but then due to overcrowding, there were more than 60 prisoners in here. So prisoners used to sleep according to their status or hierarchy. As you can see, right in front of us, there was a blanket like this, which was more like a barrier that divides the cell into two sections. So basically, people from that section were not allowed to cross over to this section. This section was called a matafileni, which is a Zulu word, which simply means as the tables. So this is where the number games in our South African prison originated. The likes of the 26 as well as the 28. The 26 are those prisoners who are responsible for smuggling cash, smuggling drugs, involved in gambling, and accumulating wealth for themselves while they are in prison because they will take others' belongings. As you can see, their behavior was different from others because these guys were the same bosses. These guys get others' belongings.
A diferença. Quem ficava desse lado aqui não podia atravessar pro lado de lá.
Because they were at their own comfort. We also have the 28. 28 are those prisoners who are responsible for fighting. So these guys are more like the warrior.
E aqui é a cela chamada número 4.
Most of the people were here, they were here because of the past law offense. A past law offender is someone who will be called through the street without any long pass. That's a bad way, it's not a street pass. It was not like a passport. There's another way you could also go to that document. Should you be called without any you in prison? Interracial relationships will not even allowed. I, as a person, I was not allowed to fall in love with a white person. I would be others of ignorant things. Whereas others were here because they were in politics. Okay, even beer brewing was not cut out. Should you be called with yourself your own beer? Whether for selling or for your own consumption, you have to take a present. So over there, we have a consent to say who's a criminal, just build the person. We have got 10 photos of 10 men who were here in different years for different places. So from the list of 10, we've got only 2 criminals. This is to show us that everyone who was here was a criminal. Just for they were not give that opportunity to point at anyone whom you think you are a criminal. If that someone not suspicious, feel free to point at them, but please don't point at me. I'm not criminal. Is anyone suspicious? The first one went into the market. He was usually a market. That guy named Criminal. Criminal used to be talented for hiding someone who escaped in prison. So that guy was fortified energy drink, which was not even healthy for people because it was alleged that as a man, after consuming Kuzamanda, it affects your manhood. As a woman, it affects your womb, your fertility. So you'll never have kids for the rest of your life. It was part of the diet by humans. Take. Let's have a look over there. We've got a column for whites, colored Asians, as well as Africans. We still on Kuzamanda, right? How much amount Kuzamanda is that? Colored Asians, nothing. But then Africans, a lot. Why Africans? Because Africans were the ones who were subjected to hard labor, slavery. Remember, it was energy drink. Those was not help. They wanted to give them strength, power, so that they'll be able to go on around and do their difference. Remember the buildings that you see around Johannesburg? Most of them were built by prisoners. They were not even paid even a single cent. Okay. Let's focus again on the third way from the top, which is bread. Are we on the same page? How much amount of bread? What? 20 ounces. Colored Asians, 8 ounces. Like I said, that those guys were relatively privileged. They had something like 8 ounces. But in Africans, nothing. So according to apartheid government, African prisoners never deserved to have a taste of bread. However, as time goes on, the prison officials came up with a strategy to say we need to give a taste of bread to Africans as well. I'll explain further as we go down there about the bread. Any questions so far? Milk only if it was available from the supplier on Christmas. So if there was no milk, it was gonna be black coffee or black tea. But then as for whites were given cake or pudding. Remember, those guys will be taken out of prison to go into the public works outside. So whenever they come back to prison, there was always a complaint to say there's a bad smell coming out from the kitchen. They didn't know what it was, only to find out that they were served with rotten fish and pig skin. For them to identify that this is a rotten fish, they will only see hundreds of thin bone to say this looks like a fish, even though it was rotten. So those are some of the things that led to closing down this prison. On the third panel over there, that's the confession to say supper was just a mixture of rotten fish and pig skin. So you can imagine after eating those kind of food, what would happen to your life? Obviously, you will die. You might even get sick. Remember, this practice was only done in this section, which was meant for non-whites. Whites are kind of treatment. So those are also some of the things that made this prison to be considered to be a health hazard, because a lot of diseases broke out, such as typhoid, diarrhea, cholera, cancer fever, and many more diseases. Those are also some of the things that led to shutting down this prison in 1953, which is for Johanesburg. The ones who were subjected to hard labor, slavery, remember, those guys will be taken out of prison to go and do the public works outside. So whenever they come back to prison, they were forced to come and stand where you are. They were forced to take everything off. They'll be stripped naked. And then the prison guard will come with some sort of torches, flashlights, checking their private parts, checking if ever they hit something from outside. It could be anything to eat, anything harmful, or anything dangerous to other inmates. In simple terms, Tausa was a form of anus check, whereby the prison guard will even go to an extent of putting some sort of a long iron key in one's private part, just to make it a point that indeed nothing was hidden. And remember, this practice was not only done in this section, it was also done at the women's jail, but then it was only meant for non-white women. So they had to come and stand like this, stretch their arms, jump up the sky, up the hands, and do the clicking tongue like. They knew that if ever there's something hidden in their mouth, whenever they do the clicking tongue, obviously that thing is gonna fall down. Or if ever there's something hidden between their legs, whenever they jump, that thing is gonna fall down. And remember, back then, people of different ages were locked together in the same cells, regardless of their age. And in our cultures, it's an insult or a taboo to see your elders being naked in front of you. But right here, it was just done in front of everyone because their aim was to take away one's dignity, one's privacy. So this picture was taken in 1954 by Bob Posani. He was a journalist. He took that picture standing on top of that building over there, which was called the Queen Victoria Hospital. His aim was to expose what was happening in here. Indeed, after taking that picture went viral. It was seen everywhere in the magazine. So the apartheid government was not happy to see that picture all over. They hunted the guy and then they had to arrest him right here. That's when they decided to erect this shelter so that they can stop people from seeing what was happening anymore. Just to confirm that this practice used to happen where you are. Have a closer look on these holes. However, the holes were later sealed as they were meant for ventilation purposes. As you can see, the windows were up and then they were always closed. This is one of the holes right here. Whenever they performed the Tauza practice, they were also tortured. They'll be beaten. They'll be called names such as kafirs, baboons, monkeys, and everything.
E o guia estava explicando que essa parte aqui era o banho, parte dos banhos, e só haviam 8 chuveiros para mais de 2.000 prisioneiros. E eles ficavam aqui sob essa vigia. E aqui tem uma área que era um game que eles faziam entre eles, uma competição. E aqui é uma outra área onde tinha um outro tratamento e punição com os médicos.
Some sort of graffitis, scratches at the back of the doors. See, in case one of my family members get arrested or locked in one of the cells, they'll be able to see that I was locked in this particular cell. Remember, they were not given basic necessities such as blankets. Instead, they'll be given 2 buckets. One as a form of diet, which was the rice water, also known as starch. Not even a single grain of rice, but only 2 water, but then to survive. Whereas the second bucket was used as an oil. So most of the people who were brought to this section were mostly political activists. So they wanted to separate them from others, keep them in. Or should you be caught misbehaving from the main cells, you taken to these cells? How do you misbehave? Should you be caught talking while eating with the home disrespectful manners? You'll be taken to these cells. As a man, should you be caught without shaving your head or your beard? You'll be taken to these cells. This section was called the deep dark hole because of the conditions in here. So prisoners felt like they were buried alive in here. Having a look on how this was constructed, this was done on a campus. Remember, when it's raining, the toilets would get blocked. Water and the mess from that section would have to flood from the main cells and then it gets put and then okay. Other than that, you've got this cell number 13. They say most of the prisoners prefer to be in this cell. So should you be caught exchanging words in here with the prison officials due to lack of understanding, you'll be regarded as disrespectful. So they'll come and say you, force you to come into the right here, and then they'll come and just measure, hey, then make the door. So if you are not strong enough, some of you will gonna die in the vessel. But I don't think one thing is strong enough to stand for the ending. As we say, men were arrested here, but then they never met, they never shared a cell, they don't know each other. Or I can say Mandela knows about Gandhi because Gandhi was way older than Nelson Mandela. So the only reason we put this exhibition named Mandela Gandhi is because they were both here and then they shared some sort of similarities. Remember, Nelson Mandela fought for our rights as Africans, whereas Mahatma Gandhi fought for the rights of Indians. So they were both lawyers and they were both political activists. Mahatma Gandhi was arrested 4 times. The first time he was in 1908 in January for refusing to carry the passport to the Dom pass. And the second time, 1908, but then in February for the very same case. The third time in 1909, and then the last time in 1913. In 1913, he was arrested for causing a non-harmful march for workers to protest for their rights and their workspace. 2015, he went back to India. Then 3 years down the line, that's when Nelson Mandela was born in 1918. Hence, we say they don't know each other, they never said. Nelson Mandela was arrested twice in this prison, but he was never brought in this section, which was meant for the non-Muslims. The first time, it was in 1956, he was kept at awaiting trial. The second time, it was 6 years down the line, it was in 1962. Still, he was never brought in here. He was kept at the old fort in the white whale section. Even today, we still have his cell that side. So the only reason for keeping Mandela that side, it was because of his political influences. So they thought if they can bring him right in this section, obviously it's going to influence others to fight more and more against particulars. So that's the self-guided tour. There's nothing much inside. Inside that one, there are just photos of the 2 gentlemen. That's outside on the wall. That's the timeline for both gentlemen. If you're interested, you can go inside, take pictures, then we move. But then are we all here? Welcome to Constitutional Court. Then you look over there, just behind the bench, we've got 11 seats. 11 seats symbolizes 11 justices. So we've got 11 justices in the court. The justices are not elected, they are appointed by the president. They are there to serve for a period of 12 years, non-renewable contract, or retire at the age of 70. For one qualified to be one of those justices, that person should be independent. Let be a member of any political party.
There are unions now that protects the rights of the workers. Yeah.
I thought he was going to point it
Okay. It's at your house. That makes some of the buildings that you see in Johannesburg. And Johannesburg is not the oldest city compared to Cape Town. Because when you look at the buildings and the structures, the oldest building in Johannesburg is the city letter, which was built.
The red one?
No. This is new development. Yeah, this is new development. So this is Queen Victoria.
Essa é a estação Queen Victoria. Esse monte amarelo chamado aqui é o sentido tem ouro aí. E a China que tem sido um grande explorador dessas áreas.
So the reason that the Apartheid Museum is actually built right here is because it also gives the understanding of the reason that a lot of people are here and the gold industry itself. So here it's the Gold Reef Casino. This is the Gold Reef Theme Park, and that's the museum just adjacent from. All those pillars in order to attain democracy, which is the first one, freedom, second, respect, third, responsibility, fourth, reconciliation, fifth, diversity, sixth, equality, and then the last one is democracy. So we can't achieve democracy if we haven't achieved all those other components, 6 components to get democracy. But I'll tell you, what we're missing in South Africa is equality. When I say equality, I mean economical equality. And when I talk about economical equality, I talk about the land.
Yeah.
Because the land has the resources that can attain the money that we want, and we can spread it amongst each other. So if 74% of the land is still in the hands of about 7% of the people of South Africa, then it's a problem.
Warning, no driver.
So the feature and the design of the stadium is very significant on African tradition. So, you know, when you drink, when they do Sokam beer or African beer, they serve it in a calabash, kumbuti. So when they serve the calabash, they serve African beer. Number one, it's made by women. It's not that they're oppressing them, but they use natural resources like wheat, water, and fermentation. And what happened is that when it's presented, is either there is a ceremony or just elderly men of the village sitting together, including the chief, or a funeral. So what would happen? They will sit around a tree, a big tree, and when they sit equally, meaning that everybody is going to be equal. You know, nobody is above the other person, so it's very important. That is why you saw at the Constitutional Hill when they say the court underneath the tree. That's what it represents. So when it's presented, the woman should come and present it, kneel as a respect, sign of respect, take the first sip, and then give it to men to drink it in a circle. You know, that's what it represents. So that is why the shape of the stadium represents that. It represents a calabash, meaning that African tradition and customs. You know, and then also at night time when they put the lights on, there are secular lights which are red, and they represent the flame which is burning in the pot that is melting the gold. So meaning that at night when you are here, it reminds you that you are at the place where gold was. Even South African politicians are.
E aí, pessoal, espero que vocês estejam gostando do tour. O vento que tá aqui tá ótimo, por conta tá muito quente. Por outro lado, eu perdi a bandana que eu comecei o vídeo lá no Constitutional Hill. E aqui atrás, que não tá dando muito pra ver, é a parte do centro de convenções. Então a gente acabou de passar pelo estádio e agora a gente tá indo lá para Soweto continuar essa experiência aqui na África do Sul. Tá sendo muito interessante, muito divertido. Espero que vocês estejam sentindo mesmo aí.